Yo, Counterattack Podcast with myself, Daps. Guys, keep liking, subscribing, and all of that good stuff. Yeah, as you can see, I'm repping. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. A large chunk of this will focus on the Arsenal Man City match. I'm not going to lie to you. A large chunk of it. But we will be talking about Tottenham, Chelsea, United, all of that good stuff. So, yeah. Guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And also, so guys, basically just a bit of housekeeping before I get into anything. So I'm thinking of bringing back some Zooms. I stopped doing the Zooms because I prefer the in-studio thing. But what's happening is that a load of guests can't be in London right now, and I'm missing out. So let me know if you would like me to have some guests on via Zoom, or would you just wait till one day when they're in London? Let me know and I'll bring them back and we can move from there. But yeah, guys, game today, man. So I was at the game, and honestly, it was just such a tense. I was definitely not at the game. Don't know why I said that. Definitely was not at the game. But cool. I was watching the game, and yeah, guys, honestly, man, it was a tense game. It was a very, very tense game. And I think watching the game and seeing how City came out the blocks for the first 3 minutes, it was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be one of them ones. It's going to be one of them ones where Arsenal play all right, but end up giving away a silly goal and whatnot. And obviously, I've forgotten who it was, but someone had the chance from the corner, and Declan Rice had to head it off the line. When that's happening in the first couple of minutes, I'm like, oh, flipping out. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. And, you know, even before I get to that, when I saw the starting lineup and I saw that there was no Saka, and to be honest, I was fuming that there was no Saka because obviously he's one of our better players, if not our best player. And I just couldn't help but think, all these games where you've been playing him. But anyway, that was cool. I saw the first choice back four, obviously. The surprise for me was Jorginho starting with Rice and Odegaard. And then obviously had Nketiah, Jesus and Trossard, which I kind of expected. But to see Martinelli back on the bench, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. So yeah, I was a bit surprised with that. And then especially when Jorginho gets a yellow card early doors, I thought it was going to be a long day. But anyway, City started like really, really well in that game, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, they weren't clear-cut chances, but there were just moments where, Gary Neville said in commentary, and I couldn't agree with him more, they came out and just sucked the life out of the crowd by instantly controlling possession. If you come to Emirates or away to any ground and you instantly take control of the ball, it just sucks all energy out, and you kind of settle down quick. And there were moments where Arsenal, especially David Raya, was under pressure, even though they weren't getting clear-cut chances. I felt like they were just, something could go wrong, like the slightest misstep or mispass or whatever. I felt like it could happen. And like I said, David Raya was a mess that first 20 minutes, if I'm being totally honest. And it's almost like you felt the occasion get to him. It's almost like, okay, I'm at a big club. This is my first real big game here at this club. And it looked like it was getting to him. So little things like, he just didn't know how, he just couldn't sort out his feet. And that's supposed to be a good attribute of his. He didn't have a clear picture when the ball was coming to him. He looked a bit, like he just needed to settle down. He was taking his time on the ball, and there was a point where he tried to clear the ball, and Alvarez has blocked it, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's gone in. But it didn't go in, obviously. And for him to come through that, I think it's going to be really, really big for him. I think as good as a keeper he is, he hadn't had that yet. And to come to a big team where it's levels above Brentford, it's like, I'm not even any disrespect to Brentford, it's levels above. And you're going to be under the spotlight, you're going to be under more scrutiny than you were at Brentford. And to come through that, I felt like was really really big for him. And it's interesting though because you know I'm seeing people's tweets and stuff like that, and people are saying, "Oh, David Raya, I thought he was meant to be good." Oh, like it's just so funny to see how quickly people flip flap. It's so funny to see how quickly people change their minds on people and on players. And I'm happy that he came through that. I'm really really happy. And second half happened and he looked a much better player. And it's interesting that Arteta said after the game. Well, I'm talk about the game, but this is just in regards to David Raya. He told him that half time, listen, when you get the ball, when you can, just put your foot on the ball, like take your time and settle down. And you could see he did that, and I felt like that was great man management. I felt like that was great coaching, good advice, and he looked much better in the second half, even though they didn't really threaten us. But I think the moment that changed things for Arsenal in that game was the tackle. So listen, that Kovacic tackle was a bad one. I'll tell you why it was bad, yeah? And I'll tell you why I think it was actually worse than Curtis Jones's last week. Curtis Jones gets the ball and then he kind of rolls over and catches whichever player it was last week. He catches the player. So that was bad. But Kovacic, the reason why that was a bad tackle was because he's come from behind the player. He's come through the player and he was never going to get the ball and he's caught him high on the ankle. It's a red. Studs up, like it's a red, especially when you see it in VAR. You're not going to convince me otherwise. I think what makes it worse is because we've seen those given. We've seen lesser tackles. Didn't that Chelsea player last week, is his name Gustavo? Who's the one that Gusto? Yeah, didn't he get sent off last week for a similar tackle? Do you get what I'm saying? Like it was all for one that weren't as bad. It's not honestly like it's getting to the point now where we're always talking about these matches, but we don't talk about the football. We're forever talking about refereeing decisions. We're forever talking about how they got it wrong. And at what point is it going to change? Because the reason why I complain about it is because there's so much weighing on these decisions. If Arsenal go on to lose that game and Kovacic plays a massive part in it, let's say whatever, we'd feel aggrieved. They'd come out and say, yeah, sorry, it should have been a sending off or whatever. But we would have lost points. They're not gonna say too much about it now because we've won the game. But it was a poor decision, and you lot let me know, like the ones listening and the ones watching this, let me know what you think if it was a sending off. Because I definitely feel like it was a sending off. But then 6 minutes later, even if it was not a sending off, he's done the exact same thing again. Well, not come through the player like that, but he's caught Declan Rice late. It's a clear foul. It's a clear second yellow. It's a clear bookable offence. But Michael Oliver waved it away so quickly as if to say, no. And listen, there are some tackles where it's like debatable on the line whether or not it should be a yellow. But I think after you just got away with such a bad tackle before, you do that which is a bang on, nail on yellow card. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I don't know what Kovacic was doing, especially when you're on a booking. It's madness. And then I found out later on that that's the same referee that gave Martinelli 2 yellows. And if you saw what he gave him 2 yellows for before, against Wolves, sent him off against Wolves when he did the double yellow in quick succession. And it's there's no consistency whatsoever. And I'm tired of coming and talking about referees. This is meant to be the Premier League, but every week there's something that they're getting wrong. Every week there's no consistency whatsoever. And I think that if there was consistency, people would be able to accept it a bit more, but there's none. You don't get no explanations. Like, you don't get no, I can see why they might have given that. I can see why. There's none of that. It's literally just, we'll see how it goes this week, but every week there's a new topic. So he should have gone. And outside of that, there wasn't really much to say. I felt like it was a real cagey match. 2 teams trying to feel at each other and not give too much away. Man City were obviously missing Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne, and it showed. It definitely showed. Having Bernardo in that six, he can do the job, but it's not Rodri, obviously. And how good is Bernardo, by the way? To be able to just be trusted to do that role and do it effectively, it just speaks volumes about the level of player that you are. But yeah, it was a cagey match. But I think one shining light throughout the first half, anyway, was Declan Rice, Saliba, and Gabriel. That core right there, crazy, crazy, crazy. Declan Rice, his ability to sniff out trouble and sniff out danger and squash it instantly, and then get us playing on the front foot is unmatched. I knew he was good. I didn't know how good. If I'm being totally honest, I knew he was good. In fact, I knew Declan Rice was very, very good. I did not know how good until, I've been watching him closely. And, the West Ham fans they've been telling me, no, Declan Rice is, Mikel Antonio was saying that he's better than Rodri. I'm not going to go as far as saying he's better than Rodri, but he's up there. He's definitely up there. I'm not going to say he's better because I like Rodri and we don't have to do that right now. That's a conversation for another day. But honestly, he is absolutely like he's just what a player. And Saliba, listen, every week we come here, we talk about Saliba. How good is he? And him and Gabriel together. This is what I'm saying. So at the beginning of the season, when we were like messing around and putting, Kiwior and leaving Gabriel on the bench, like what were we doing? Play our first choice defenders. Just play them. Because we've gone through that game. Haaland's not had a sniff. The only thing he sniffed was the pitch when Gabriel Saliba went shoulder to shoulder and put him on the floor. That's it. Other than that, he didn't get a sniff of anything. No goals, no nothing. He was in their pockets all game. And it was just a masterful performance from them, from the defenders. Second half, when I saw Martinelli, hearing that Trossard was injured, I was like, okay, cool, fair enough. Martinelli coming on changed the game for me. Because what I think Arsenal were lacking in the first half was any sort of outlet, any sort of cutting edge. And straight away, Martinelli, within a couple of minutes, when Declan Rice broke it up again, put him through, and he hits the ball straight into the keeper's arms. Straight away, we've given ourselves an outlet. We've got a player that is direct and just straight to the matter. Get me? He's just straight at it. And we needed that. We didn't have that. Everything was, because it was so compact, everything was go out there, pass. We're trying to find a way. We didn't have anyone to really stretch them. But he added a lot. And what I also will say is that Arteta needs to be given credit as well, because to make that sub and then also to turn around and make the 3 subs he made after they brought on Doku, Nunez, they brought on someone else. I can't remember right now. But they brought on, and Stones. When he made those subs, I said to myself, oh my gosh, Doku. Because I was like, we need to score before Doku comes on. Because I was afraid of Doku. I'm not going to lie to you. I was very much afraid of Doku. So when he made those subs, and then straight away we get Tomiyasu, and I called it. The moment Doku came on, I said, bring on Tomiyasu, because I didn't want Doku against Zinni. Even though the first time Zinchenko came up against Doku, clamped. Listen, guys, if you're watching, this is a very biased podcast today. Normally I'm here to give my views I am biased. This is what we're doing. I'm happy. I'm still trying to be unbiased and still give a balanced account, but nah. So, outside of that, once he went there and then Thingy changed him to the other side. Pep told him to go to the other side, to go to Ben White. Same thing again. Tomiyasu's come on. Havertz has come on. Partey's come on. Listen, to be able to make substitutions at that level, it's a wonderful thing. Partey, Odegaard and Rice in that middle. Yeah, please. Yeah, leave it. It's too good. Too good of a midfield. And I think City really did not offer anything at all. they really, I think they had 4 shots the entire game. Let me try to see like stats. Someone put one of the stats in the group. Right, let me just see. Let me see. Okay, it's not that one. Maybe it's another group. Okay, I don't even know. I don't even know, but they had like 4 shots. We had like 12. I think they shaved possession 52%. But yeah, I felt like if anyone deserved, to be honest, a draw would have been a fair result because not much really happened in that. But I think if we're looking at the team who pushed through it more, I would definitely say Arsenal did. And the goal was a lucky goal, fair enough, cool. But I just want to give honourable shout out to Tomiyasu and Havertz for being in those positions anyway. Obviously, Havertz is going to be in that position, but Tomiyasu, when that ball went up to him, I was like, what the heck are you doing there? To gamble, you're supposed to be left back. To make that gamble, header it down, and for Havertz to have the composure to lay off for Martinelli and to score. Honestly, it was a wonderful thing. I almost lost my voice. I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And it was just for a team that hasn't beaten that team in 12 matches, 12 straight losses. That is wild in the Premier League. Absolutely wild. For Arsenal as well. I think bigger than the 3 points and the actual win of today's game, I think putting that to bed was massive for us. Putting that to bed was massive for us. So yeah, we got the win. Man of the match, Declan Rice. Incredible player. Absolutely incredible player. Sniffs out danger. He can play as well, man. And he just gives us I'm just so annoyed because Declan Rice stayed on against Tottenham. We would have got them out of there too. Do you get what I'm saying? And yeah, really, really good performance. Haaland was in their pockets. I'm trying to think of any Man City player that can come out of any sort of credit. I think Bernardo tried. I don't think there was a bad performance, if I'm being totally honest, because not much really happened in the game. But Kyle Walker was good in the first half. You could see that Martinelli gave him issues though that he didn't have in the first half. Yeah, Man City. Which ones are their players? I don't know. They're just anyway. Guys, let me know what you thought of the game. It wasn't no blockbuster game. I think it was a game that showed two teams at the top of the English Premier League in regards to quality going at it, and no one really wanting to do too much, and they were feeling each other out, and so it didn't give us goals galore, didn't give us chances galore, but I definitely do feel like you could see how high the quality was on the pitch, if that makes sense. Let me know what you think, guys, of that match. Yeah, so now that that's out of the way, let's go over to the other team in North London who are currently top of the table. Imagine that Tottenham are top of the table going into the international break. Listen, Tottenham are playing well. I cannot lie to you. They're playing well. They're doing really, really well. I think what the thing that remains to be seen, and it's funny because people said the same thing about Arsenal last season, is when they're really tested. And I know yesterday they had a player sent off in Basuma. I don't know what he was doing for both of those yellows. They had a player sent off. I think what remains to be seen is if they're really, really tested. And the thing is, even though they had 10 players yesterday, they were also playing against Luton. They've played 3 of the promoted teams that have come up. So there's going to be like tougher games to come, but you can only beat what's in front of you at the end of the day. And I think Luton, again, if it was any other opposition, they would have got Tottenham out of there because Luton had chances, but they just don't have the quality at all. They just don't have quality at all. And yeah, but they're looking good. Let me just get. I don't want to butcher this guy's name. Their centre back. Let me see. Tottenham. So the player. I just want to make sure that I say it correctly. Why is it making me do all of this stuff? I don't want to see all that. So 1 second, guys. So you don't know who I'm talking about. Uh, Van der Ven. Oh, it's not even a hard name. Yeah, so I think Van der Ven and Romero have formed a really good partnership. Van der Ven is nippy. No one's really taken him on like that. Every test that he's had to come up against, he's pretty much passed it. I don't think I've seen him have a bad game yet. Granted, I've not seen all of Tottenham's games live, but I don't think he's had a bad game yet. I think Romero has definitely matured. I don't know if that's the added responsibility of being vice captain. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know if it's the added responsibility of being vice captain, but he's definitely looking like a much more mature player. He doesn't lose his head as much. I think assumingly losing his head was, yeah. Madison is looking like a real good player, and I'm glad he's shining because he was doing a lot of that work for Leicester at the bottom of the league last year, and he deserves much better. So I'm glad for him, and they're playing well. They're playing well. We just need to see how it goes for them. Obviously, I don't think they're going to go on and win the league. I do not think that for one bit, but they're definitely pushing to make sure that they're in the conversation for Champions League, and it just adds to the league. It just adds to the excitement to be going into international break with two unbeaten teams. You know, Arsenal and Tottenham. Even though Tottenham are top because they scored more goals, even though we've conceded less, we both got the same goal difference, but we move. Um, I'm here for it. I'm especially here for it because I don't think that they'll last. I'm not going to even talk about who's going to win the league right now because it's way too early. And as much as City have lost 2 games on the trot, they're still only two points behind, which is yeah, which is nothing in this league as we know. So yeah, man, Tottenham guys, let me know how far you think this Tottenham team can go. Do you think it's a Champions League thing? Do you think it's a league? You know, what's the word I'm looking for? Challenge. I don't think they can challenge for the league, but if you think they can challenge for the league, let me know. Let me know what you think that they're missing, or yeah, or who you think that they need. Let me know, and yeah, we can get on. Yeah. So what I will talk about now, Chelsea, man. And ran out 4-1 winners against Burnley, and you know what? To be totally honest, it looks like they're starting to get a bit of momentum, a bit of confidence. I think yes, they even though they did have quite a few injuries before, I think that we never really use it as an excuse of the level. So because of the level of talent that they still had at their disposal, and they should not have been playing that way. But some might say it's only Burnley who are yet to win. They've lost their five first home games in a division. Like some people might say that it's only Burnley, but you just got to beat what's in front of you. And I just want to give a big shout out to Raheem Sterling, who has absolutely started the season well. Raheem Sterling is just showing that he's still got it. Raheem Sterling is showing that, remember, he's still a big player. They still have him on the books. They still not have him on the books. They still have that Raheem Sterling who was at City, who for years has just had ridiculous output. He's still there. And I always wonder why people put dirt on his name because of one bad season last year when he wasn't even, playing well and because of injury, sorry. So yeah, to see him have a hand in the goals and to see him back to what he does best was really, really good to see. Nicholas Jackson gets his goal, and I like Nicholas Jackson a lot. I'm a massive fan of his. I think that was a great confidence booster for him to get that goal. And you got Brohak who came off the bench, who's feeling his way back in, and Chelsea's team is starting to like gather pace. And you know what? Who I want to talk about? Conor Gallagher, because say what you like. I mean, say what you want about Conor Gallagher. I think he's come in and he's actually been one of the better players. He's taken the captaincy very serious. So I'm just trying to see the starting lineup from the other day. Um, Second. Yeah, so Chelsea. So guys, just getting the team from yesterday. Okay, cool. So I do want to talk about Conor Gallagher because um I think that he's taken it very seriously becoming captain. You can see what it means to him, and like him or loathe him, or love him or hate him, he's doing the business and he's out there. You know what he reminds me of actually? Conor Gallagher reminds me of Jordan Henderson in the sense that in terms of the players with the most ability on the pitch, he's probably not going to be top percentile of any of that. He's not easy on the eye. He is a real English run around for 90 minutes kind of player, but I think there's something about setting the standards on the pitch, the standards that the manager expects of the players. He does that on the pitch. Similar to when Jordan Henderson, when I used to say that Jordan Henderson was vital for that Liverpool team when they were at their top, when they were on top and at their best, he was pivotal for them. And I see similarities with Conor Gallagher. Whether or not moving forward he's going to stay there, I don't know, but I feel like he might because of how well he does play for them and what he brings to the other team in regards to just bringing their levels higher. Not quality levels, but just the levels of commitment, basically. I think Casieda and Enzo are really they're really starting to click right now, and that's good. And even their is it Diassi? Diassi, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Disassi. One sec. Yeah, Disassi. Um, yeah, I've been impressed with him, even though Thiago is still their best defender. So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they progress. If the confidence, obviously, the next game is Arsenal, so that's going to be a real test for both teams. We're going to see just how close or how far each team is from where they need to be. Um, yeah. Oh, Cole Palmer, really good player, really good player. And I was surprised that Man City let him go. I'm happy that Chelsea are giving him responsibility in regards to taking a penalty and showing faith in him by starting him and showing that nah, you are good enough. Go ahead and play. And I do think Man City should not have sold him and they missed the trick selling. I mean, some might say they got Doku in, but Cole Palmer offers something different. Do you get what I'm saying? He offers something different to Doku. He offers something different to Grealish. Oh, very quickly, sorry to divert, but it's going to be interesting. I know there's so much of the season to be played, but it's going to be interesting to see just how much Grealish not plays this season, but just to. It's going to be interesting to see Jack Grealish's role within this team this season. Like I said, it is very early in the season, but Pep didn't even bring him off the bench today. And we've been seeing Doku's impact when he's on, when he starts, when he comes on the sub. We've been seeing that impact, and that's the same sort of impact that Pep would want um, from Grealish. I think that Grealish has a lot to do right now. I think he's still got credit in the bank because he played so well and he was a pivotal player for them last season. But if Doku keeps playing how he's been playing, not today because obviously we dealt with that matter today, but if Doku keeps going how he's been, it's going to be really tough for Jack Grealish, I think. So this is it's going to be an interesting dynamic. Let's say it's going to be an interesting decision that Pep has to make throughout the season, and it's just one to keep a close eye on. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about Chelsea. Let me know what you think about Chelsea. Even Liverpool, who we haven't even spoken about, like Liverpool 2-2 today against Brighton. To be totally honest with you, I think that was a good result for them. Going away to Brighton isn't easy. I think Brighton are not struggling right now, but you know what? They're struggling to find the form from last season. They're struggling to find the rhythm that they had last season. I think it's not easy playing in Europe and then coming and playing in the league as they're finding out. But I do think it will click because they're not far off. And even today, they weren't really far off, if I'm being totally honest with you. Yeah, so Liverpool, the handball though for Liverpool, the handball. Let's quickly go. Yeah, I do. I'm just having a look at it now again. Why is it? Let me mute that. So yeah, I'm just having another look at the handball again to see if it in fact was a handball. I think when you look at the fact that Romero, okay, here it is now. I'm looking. Hmm, hmm. Looking at it again, I don't think it was a penalty. Let me see. Nah, you can't give that. You can't give that. But I think what people were saying about that is if you give Romero's one against Arsenal, you've got to give that one. But I don't think that's a handball, to be totally honest. If we start giving handballs for that, then the game's gone. I mean, the game's already gone when you look at some of the decisions. But Liverpool, I felt like Liverpool were a bit flat in moments. If I'm being totally honest, I felt like they had a hang up from playing in Europe, but they managed to turn it around like that spell. You know what? Let me shout out Harvey Elliott because what he done for the goal, the first goal, will go unnoticed by a lot of people. I think starting that press and setting it forced Brighton into making the mistake, the misplaced pass. That doesn't happen if Harvey Elliott doesn't press. And then to still be active and parts and still be active and play a part, and then that little dummy for Salah to go and finish. He's not going to get any stats that will show what he done, but he played a massive part in that goal. So I just want to shout him out. But yeah, guys, let me know, man, what you think because I'm about to edit this and get it out for you tomorrow. Um, so this week, the task for this week, and I need you guys with me because listen, we need to see just how much we can grow before the end of the year. And I've found out finally how to do the lives like so that you see it from my camera, not a laptop. So the lives are coming back. It might even come back if you're watching this on Monday. It might even come back today. So we're gonna see. If it doesn't come back today, then definitely Tuesday. But so the lives are coming back, and yeah, let me know what you think, man, of the weekend's football. Oh no! Before I go, Manchester United. How can I forget about Manchester United? Sugar. Um, listen, Manchester United. Shout out Lady Catherine Ferguson. Rest in peace. I think it was fitting that two goals came in Fergie time. It was fitting. I think because of you know what had happened with the Fergusons, and condolences to the family. I think it was just fitting how it ended. And what I will say though is that it's papering over huge cracks at Manchester United. I don't think they're at it at all. I think they're so far away from being at it. I think there's many players who are nicking a living there, who should not be anywhere near that team. If I'm being totally honest, um, so let me just see the thing. I think Brentford Brentford missed the trick there. To be honest, they're gonna Brentford will probably coming back from that thinking, how the heck did they lose that 2-1? Their goalkeeper was a bit suspect though. There was a couple moments in that game where I'm like, this guy's gonna let one in. He might as well chuck it in his net. There was, and I think even for the first goal, I think he should have done much better with that save. Yeah, but it puts papers over huge cracks. And Amrabat, listen, Amrabat sold us a dream, if I'm being totally honest. Everyone got carried away with the World Cup stuff and it got him a move and fair play. But I'm not seeing anything from him. And I know they keep pushing him to left back, but even when he was in centre mid, nah, they just look really disjointed, Man United, right now. And I'm not really, yeah. What I will say though is that Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans played well yesterday. And I think it just goes to show what happens when you get a good defender. And you know what? I might get slated for saying this. Sorry. I might get slated for saying this, but when you talk about who are Man United's best defenders, I almost don't want to say it because I know how I mean it in my head. yeah, I almost don't want to say this because how I mean it in my head, I know it's probably not going to come out or it's not going to be received like that. But I'm going to say it anyway. People slate Johnny Evans. Oh my gosh, can't believe we got Johnny Evans in this team, but he might actually be United's best. I'm having him over. I'm having him over Maguire. I'm having him over Lindelof, even though I like Lindelof. Oh, Raphael Varane. I think you know what it is about Johnny Evans. I think when you just need a steady Eddie, like yes, he's 30 something, he's not in his prime, but if you need a player that's just when your back is against the wall, if you just need a defender in there, who's just gonna do what is necessary. Johnny Evans is a good fit, if I'm being totally honest, because I think Johnny Evans gets like the rap he gets and the reputation he's got in this team. I don't get it because he's actually a top defender. Obviously, he's past his best and he's coming towards the end, but he's not a bad defender to have. If you're gonna have to be without your first choice centre backs, your top two, Johnny Evans ain't a third. I mean, ain't a bad third, to be totally honest. That's the point I'm trying to make. But yeah, let me know what you thought about that United performance, and just get in the comments. Let's engage. And I'm gonna do a live phone in at some point this week. Ooh, I might do that live on camera. That would be a good idea. Get at me, guys. Get at me on Insta. Listen, in the bio here, in the description, my Insta's there, my Twitter's there. Send me a DM. Even if you just want to chat and just give your views, put it in the comment section there. But also just get at me because I feel reinvigorated to just finish the year strong. So we're going to try to do 5 shows this week. It might be 5 minutes, it might be 15 minutes, but we're going to try. So yeah, guys, that's it from me. I'm out.